and here's a hot tip. You want a hot tip. If you're going to go and visit the Niagara
I want a
Falls,
hot tip.
You want a hot tip?
Or a wet tip?
A wet tip? Well, no, you want a hot jeez.
Do you love the outdoors?
Do you love to travel?
Do you love finding hidden treasures and towns all over the USA? Hi, I'm Joshua.
And I'm Craig, and welcome to Treasures of Our Town. It's the podcast that takes you on a journey to explore the unique and charming towns scattered throughout the United States.
Join us as we venture into some of the country's most intriguing destinations, uncovering hidden gems and local secrets along the way.
On today's episode, Josh, we're going to light your fire and quench your thirst.
Ooh, come on, baby, light my fire.
What's there a song about quenching thirst? I can't. Thirst quench. I don't know. I'm not as sound as what you are when it comes to all your pop culture stuff. I'll tell you now. Like,
I got a song for everything.
You really do, Josh. You really do. I mean, just to let you know as well, like I've been doing, obviously looking at your videos from Germany and stuff as well, and all of a sudden, bam, there it is.
Yes.
You say something, and bam, you're into a song. You know,
yeah,
so.
Break into a song. My life is a musical, basically.
Tammy's so happy about that.
When I was in high school, the person that was right next to my locker hated me because I would go to my locker, I'd be singing a song, and then she'd come back the next hour and she'd be like, I had that song stuck in my head all day long now, thanks to you. So people generally do not like living their life in a musical like I do.
Yeah. That's understandable and fair enough as well. And we will get to this discussion today as well, Josh, because speaking of musicals, I went somewhere yesterday because yesterday was Geocaching Day, International Geocaching Day.
You went to a musical?
Well, I didn't go to a musical, but I walked directly past the front doors of the musical that you are going to die for.
You were in front of the Garden Theater.
Yep.
I am so jealous.
Mm-hmm.
If I lived where you lived, I'd be there. I'd probably have gone twice already.
Well, let's talk about yesterday, Josh. Yesterday, International Geocaching Day. What did you do yesterday for International Geocaching Day?
You want to talk about geocaching on our travel podcast?
Yeah, because we travel while we geocache. It's what we do. It's what we. It guides, Josh. Yes. It guides our travel.
It does. So yesterday was International Geocaching Day. It happens on the third Saturday. Mm-hmm. And I think it bleeds into today as well. So if you find a geocache today, you get a special little badge for your geocaching profile. But I hosted a geocaching event yesterday.
You did?
Yeah. I can count on one hand the number of times that I've hosted an event. And I hosted an event to celebrate geocaching at a library. And I did a little geocaching 101 class. I've never done that before.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you utilize any of my videos?
I didn't, but I did say there's lots of good tutorials on YouTube.
There is
about geocaching because it was certainly just 101. And we had a few new cachers there, a lot of veteran cachers, and we were just celebrating and enjoying our hobby. There's actually a geocache in the library. It was my geocache. Yeah. And so for those of you in the geocaching world, you know, you have to get 4 favorite points to be able to be qualified for a virtual geocache.
That's right.
Thanks to that event, I was able to get the 4 favorite points I needed. But I also had a signing for my comic book, The Greatest Treasure. So sold several copies, talked about it. It was just so appropriate. It was in a library. And the fun thing is that my geocaching comic book is actually in that library. You can actually check it out.
Cool. That is so cool. Like it's got like a little sticker around the spine of it with the numbers on it and everything. Like,
it's real. People can take it home.
It's a real book that you can actually take home.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Wow.
How about you? Wow. What did you do on International Geocaching Day?
Well, mate, I was off by myself as well. And I took a bus. So where I'm from here in Jersey, I can take a bus, which, ready for this, it's $30 round trip for return for this bus. And you get it nonstop from pretty much my town directly into NYC, New York City itself. Oh, it's an hour and a half bus ride. That's all it is. And you can play your munzee. You can, you can watch TikToks. You can do what you want on the bus. Don't worry about traffic. Don't worry about gas costs. Don't worry about tolls. Don't worry about parking. $30. There you
That's
go.
incredible. So,
Yeah.
what time did it leave, and then what time did you have to get on the bus to get back?
So they leave every hour
Oh,
on the
wow.
weekends. Yeah, like it's a full on bus route as well. So and we go directly into the bus station, the bus depot in New York City. Of course, virtual directly at the front of that bus depot as well. So and that's what I did. I wanted to not only do the event because there was an event in Central Park yesterday. That's predominantly why I wanted to go. But there's also, as you know, this month there's a challenge for geocaching. Put out a challenge to get different types.
Oh, yes.
I got all my types yesterday, Josh, in one day.
Did you get them in Central Park?
Well, in and around Central Park
Okay.
and New York City. So yeah, so like I got the virtual, for instance, out the front of the bus station. And Josh, guess what else happened?
What?
I met up with one of our Patreons.
You did?
Yeah,
Who was
Alibaba
it?
and her 40 Thieves.
Oh, I love Allie.
I know you. We spoke about you, Josh. Don't worry. She loves you too. She
You
was telling
know,
me when she picked you up.
when I visited the first time in Long Island,
Yeah.
she picked me up from the airport and she gave me a gift basket. And not only was it a gift basket, but it was a Back to the Future gift basket.
That's right. That's right. And that's what I was leading to as well, is when I was walking towards Central Park, New York, there it is, Josh, in all its glory. Back to the Future, the musical. It's in lights. It's in, yeah. It was
so
all there.
Jealous.
It was all there, Josh. And I thought of you straight away and I thought,
So I think the plan is, hearing all that,
mm-hmm.
that I need to stay with you and we
Yeah.
take that bus into New York City and we go to the musical together.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
Sounds
I'll
like
see-
an episode of Treasures of Our Town.
It certainly does. Well, we spoke about you because they wanted you to come as well to their mega event that they're hosting in September.
Ooh,
Yeah.
hosting one in September.
Yeah. On Long Island. You got
Yeah, on Long Island.
On Long Island. You can't say in. It's on Long Island. So, but yeah. So that's what I did, Josh. And then walking around Central Park, New York, beautiful place.
Yes.
I did 10 miles of walking yesterday.
Oh yeah,
10 miles.
It's a lot of walking. I did the 30-stage
Bridges and
geocaching there
arches.
when I was there, and
That's right.
It's an all-day experience, but it's a very memorable experience. And it's really cool to be able to experience the whole park, because a lot of people just experience sections of it. Even people that live in New York City, they just like, I've been to sections, but there's a geocache there, if you don't know, that has 30 stages to complete it.
Yeah.
And it takes you from the north side to the south side, and very memorable.
Yeah.
A great way to experience the park, because geocaching guides
your
travels.
adventures. And speaking of which as well, so I walk up to the event location and here is a guy talking in Swedish. He's a Swede. He's a Swede. You got to say it correct. He's a Swede.
Yes.
He turned around, Josh. He had on a geocaching shirt, but not just any ordinary geocaching shirt. 2018 Oz Geomuster t-shirt, which is the mega event that I hosted and I emceed back in Australia. Yeah, and he was there. He turned around and saw me and goes, Seemyshell, like, what are you doing here? I'm like, wow. What are you wearing a shirt that's from Australia? Yeah,
Small world.
5 years ago, Josh. 5 years ago.
Small world.
Yeah. And as you said before, it guides your adventure and travel. They're from Sweden. They're in New York City for a week, just geocaching and seeing the sights,
And we should also notice that in Central Park today and yesterday was Pokemon Go Fest.
Yes, speaking of geographical games, Pokemon Go Fest was on, and that is crazy. You should have seen the people there yesterday in just like a massive big huddle. Like, I don't play Pokemon Go. I don't understand most of it, but I don't know why they have to be in like a real close knit area and huddle. And they were all huddled around. And when I'm talking people, I'm talking 800-900 people in a huddle, Josh. In a huddle.
They were probably in a gym trying to defeat a mythical huge Pokemon. You battle Pokemon together, and the only way you can battle them is if you have lots of people. It's kind of like a mob.
So it's like
so
they're trying to beat a big boss, basically, a big boss.
Exactly, but you can't do it by yourself. You're not strong enough.
Fair enough. Well, that's the reason why. Cool. And you have to be in a geographical location. It makes sense.
Yes, exactly. So there's your Pokemon Go content for this week. But Pokemon Go Fest is a lot of fun. I went in 2018 in Chicago, and they literally set up like, they had volcanoes and they had an area of like an ice area. So you would walk into an area and then all of a sudden on your screen it would turn into winter, and then you walk into another place and it would
Oh,
turn
wow.
into Volcano Land. But then you see
Wow.
physical props in the
Mhm.
park.
Mhm.
Pokemon Go does a great job with that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that'd be cool for a Munzee event, just saying, Rob. Anyway.
but enough,
Enough of
banter. This
I
isn't
know,
what we're
right?
talking about. We're
No,
not
it's
talking about
not. No, it's
Pokemon
not.
Go.
This episode is all about my recent trip that I went to, Buffalo and Niagara Falls, and you obviously been there as well. How long ago was it that you were to
I was
Buffalo and
there last
Niagara?
year. I was
Last
there
year.
like over the 4th of July,
Mhm. Mhm.
2022. So it's pretty fresh in my memory. And of course, I have videos of it. So it helps me jog my memory of what I experienced.
Exactly, exactly. So, first of all, Buffalo, Josh, what are your views and thoughts on Buffalo?
Well, Buffalo's another one of those towns similar to Cleveland that I had never visited before.
Mhm.
And I like these smaller market cities.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I'll be honest, I didn't spend a lot of time in Buffalo itself.
Mhm.
I do wanna go back and experience more
More.
because I think it is a really neat city, but I had a target,
Mhm.
and that was the world famous
Mhm.
Eternal Flames waterfall.
Come on, sing go the song, go the song.
Close your eyes, lend me your hand. Wow, that was really impressive.
Darling. Hey,
I
you
got the
you
verse.
you did, you got the verse, not the chorus. Look at you. Yeah, the Eternal Flame, and I did the Eternal Flame there as well. I visited also. There was lots of people there that well, not there, lots of people that I when I shared it on my socials that were like, "What's this, Craig? Where's that? What
Yeah.
is it?" You know?
It's amazing that the whole
Mm.
world doesn't know about it. Craig, just tell the people just a little bit of exactly what the Eternal Flames waterfall is.
Okay,
It
the
is
Eternal
so unique.
it really is. So the Eternal Flame is located about 20 minutes. Oh, I just hit myself. Located about 20 minutes south of Buffalo itself. So it's 20-minute drive south. It's a beautiful walk. There's lots of signage there as well. You can park there's two parking spots you can park in. It's a nice, beautiful walk through a beautiful rainforesty sort of area. We had great weather at the time when we were there. You do a little bit of a creek crossing here and there, and like a creek walk. Not too bad at all. You probably wouldn't want to do it after heavy rains, I dare say. I think that creek gets a bit higher. Um, and there's some sections that are closed for refurbishment at the moment as well. But what it is basically a very small waterfall. When I say small, I'm talking, a couple of feet in diameter and then a couple of feet in height. And it's a waterfall that goes over the top of this hole in the rock crevice area. And inside the hole in the rock, there's two flames themselves that are there permanently. Two flames permanently in the
What?
rock. Yeah, yeah.
How are there flames coming out of a rock?
I'm sure that there's some sort of gas leak or something from
Yes,
somewhere.
it is. It is. It's a natural gas leak
Yeah.
that people light,
Yes.
and the flame goes eternally. Although I have been told from locals that sometimes it does go out. So if you're heading
Yes.
out to the Eternal Flame, bring a lighter with you just in
Just in
case
case.
you need
Exactly.
to relight the Eternal Flame. This is it is a sight to behold.
Mhm.
When I was there in July. It was a trickle of a waterfall, so there wasn't
Mm.
much water. But in the spring, I guess it can really be flowing,
Yeah.
and just I guess to see that light behind the water that's flowing is amazing.
Yeah.
And been told also in the winter when people go, it's just beautiful as well because you're covered or with snow around the area, and you
Yeah.
just see this fire
Yeah. In the
around this
middle of
ice
ice and snow.
and snow. So I guess that's just beautiful as well. But there's nowhere else. I asked, so I went with
Mhm.
Nancy
Mhm.
of the
Yep.
Deadliest Cashers. Have you ever met
Yes.
Nancy?
I haven't met her, but reached out to her she reached out to me when I was there as well.
Yeah, she's
So that's
very
cool.
active in the geocaching community,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
wanted to go with
And
somebody
Munzee as
else.
well. She's
Oh, and
Munzee as
Muncie.
well. Yeah, yeah.
And I wanted to experience it with a local.
Mhm.
So, yeah, she went along with me, and, she's proud of her town.
Yeah.
She really is proud of the flame and proud of Buffalo. You gotta respect that. You don't see
Yeah.
that every day as somebody that's proud of their town.
He didn't even wait this time, Josh. Please don't stop listening just because Josh said it now. He didn't wait till the end, but anyway.
Do you think some people just wait for that and then they just turn it off? They're like,
Just
"When
in
is Josh gonna
case.
say it?"
just in case that one person does. I want them to listen to all of it. We got some good quality coming up, so keep tuned.
So, I don't know how you approached the flame.
Mm.
It was middle of the summer, so I pretty much walked right down the middle of the creek bed almost.
Yeah, yeah.
Is
We
that what
we
you
did
did?
as well, yeah, because we went there only like a couple of weeks ago now for me. So it was end of summer, obviously. So yeah, there was still a creek bed, and we crossed the creek bed a couple of times. Didn't
Yes.
really get our shoes wet. You know, there was enough rocks and whatnot that we can actually hop across. So yeah, so that's when we went
But
to.
I just wanna say, I asked Nancy, I
Hmm.
said, "Do you know if there's anything like this anywhere else in the world?" Like, and I
Mm.
looked up on the internet, and it's the Eternal Flame Falls. It's the only one. I'm sure there are, gas leaks
Yeah, of course there has to
all
be.
over the world that
There has to be
people don't
somewhere
even
else.
aren't aware of, but the fact that it's, like, right underneath the waterfall,
Hmm. Hmm.
that's what makes this so amazing, so
Yeah.
unique, so beautiful. It is a tourist destination, so once
Yep.
you
It
get
is.
there, I don't know about you, but I had to wait. I had to wait and kinda wait in line
In
to get my
line. Yep.
picture.
Yep.
So, I made a video of it, and I believe you edited that video for me, I
I think
think.
I
Maybe
did.
not. I don't know,
No,
can't
I don't
remember.
know. I can't remember either.
But you'll see. It looks like I'm there all by myself in
But you're
nature, but
not.
actually I had to wait in line
Yep.
to get the footage,
Mhm.
and it's slippery, so don't
It
people
is.
fall.
It is. Well, we spoke to Jesse and Scott as well. They went to the Eternal Flame when we spoke to them in Cleveland when we were in Cleveland, and when they were there, someone actually did have a slip and a fall, and
Mm,
an ambulance were called. So
yeah.
it was an elder
I
person
mean,
too. So it
you're
is
at the
slippery.
bottom of a waterfall.
That's
There's
right.
water running right by you.
Exactly. And
So,
this place, guys, this place is not, there's not dedicated steps,
no.
and handrails. It is literally a bushwalk. It is a nature trail walk. So you are going in nature. There could be animals out there as well. So, it's not, yeah, it's not for the faint hearted to a certain degree. And it's a nice 20-minute walk as well.
Yeah, it's a nice little hike.
Mm, mm,
And if you're a geocacher,
mm-hmm,
it's probably I think it's safe to say that
mm,
it might be the most famous, possibly the most favorite
mm-hmm.
earth cache in the
Yes.
world.
Yeah.
Like, it's
I saw
on
that.
all the top 10 lists
Yep.
of, and an earth cache is a geocache that doesn't have a physical container, but when you get there, you have to answer some science questions about the geology around it. So it is a very famous earth cache. I'm always shocked, Craig. Posting pictures, videos of the amount of geocachers that don't even know about it, or
I know.
anybody. It's
Or
just amazing. It's
anybody.
like, this is a bucket list location. Like, go to
Hmm.
Buffalo,
Yeah.
get your wings,
Yep, yep, we'll
catch
talk
a
about those in
catch
a sec.
a Buffalo Bills game. They
Yep,
have a good football team,
they
Craig.
do, they do, and they're proud of that too. They're
Yeah,
proud
they're
of their
proud.
team.
They're proud of their football team. I would. My understanding, it gets pretty snowy. It can get pretty snowy in
Yes.
Buffalo in the winter,
Yeah.
but you can't miss the Eternal Flame.
No, no, not at all. And for those of you who are Munzee players as well, if you want to park where Josh and I parked, just have a look for our Munzees that we placed in the car park.
Did I play some there
Yeah,
too?
yeah, you placed one too. I capped it. You didn't even realize. But anyway, that's how much you look at your Munzee list.
There's so much
So
to keep track of, Craig.
I know. So that's the Eternal Flame, guys. Make sure you put it on the bucket list. And of course, everything we talk about will be in the description, all the links themselves.
Yeah, there's a
But
great. I'm proud of this video, this
yeah.
Eternal Flame video. You get a sense. Nancy's in it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
get
yeah.
a sense of what that day was like.
Yep, yep, yep. But let's turn our talk to food, Josh. Because wherever
Yes.
you go to any town itself, you want to try their local delicacies.
Yes.
That's what I know I do all the time. What did you have food when you were there?
Yeah. Well, I got a tip. So
Mm-hmm.
Nancy, we took
She's
me to the
great with
Eternal
tips.
Flame,
Yeah.
and then she said, "How about we have some hot dogs?"
Oh.
So just down the road from the Eternal Flame, and if you're looking for somewhere close, you've just done 40 minutes of hiking. You've you've been exhausted by all your social media sharing of being at the Eternal Flame. So she took me to George's Hot Dogs,
Mm-hmm.
famous hot dog place, and it was just quaint. there's a picnic table. You eat outside, picnic
Mm,
tables. You walk up, order your food. It's in Hamburg, New York, literally just a couple miles
mhm.
from the Eternal Flame, and it was so tasty, and it was a great way to cap off my Eternal Flame experience.
Very good. Well, if people don't know, buffalo wings originated in Buffalo, but it's like a very contentious issue. So
Really?
So the official website, the official thing online at the moment is that yes, it was created in Buffalo, and it was created from the Anchor Bar, which I ate at, Josh. I went to the actual home
Ooh.
of the buffalo wing because you know me, I love my buffalo wild wings.
Hmm.
I'm not a fan of the buffalo sauce; it's too hot and spicy for me. I'm a mild guy, but just the wings themselves. So we went to the Anchor Bar
Okay.
in Buffalo as well, the first place of the wings. It was served in 1964. It was a
Mm.
family owned establishment at the time as well. The wings were actually a brainchild of a person called Teresa Bellissimo. Now, that is the contentious issue because apparently there was her chef or something that brought him in
Okay.
from south. He lived down south, like Louisiana down south,
Oh.
and he brought him up. But she covered them in her own special sauce. She's saying it's her
Mm.
sauce. He's saying it's his sauce, you see. And then what?
Wow.
Get this. So she served them with a side of blue cheese and celery, Josh. Do you know why? Because that's the
'Cause-
only thing they had left in the kitchen.
Oh, really? It wasn't
Yeah.
because it was like to
Th-
cool down the heat.
No. No, she knew it needed a sauce and something like a sides. They didn't have any fries at the time. They had some celery, so they chucked some celery and some blue cheese
Oh, that's
and
funny.
the buffalo wild and the buffalo wild wing and buffalo wings. So there
Wow.
you go. That's how buffalo wings were created, apparently.
Did you have some buffalo wings at the Anchor Bar?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I was
We
like,
went.
how could you not?
Yeah, exactly. That 100%. We had to go to the Anchor Bar, and then the Anchor Bar as well has got some nice local brews because you know me and you as well with our beers.
Yes.
We don't mind trying local brew and breweries, so yeah, we had that
Hmm.
as well. But then we walked back to where we were staying. We're staying at the hotel, right next door to the hotel, Josh, and this is where Nancy reached out to me because when I first got there,
Yeah.
oh, Josh, I looked at this park. There's a park in Buffalo, and
Okay.
geocachers and non-geocachers are like, you must go to this park. This is another bucket list park. I'm telling you,
Okay.
it's called the Patriots and Heroes Park.
Okay.
If you're a geocacher, it's GC9P6DR. If you're a non-geocacher, just Google
Just
it.
ignore
All
that we said
links.
that.
Yeah, just ignore that. It's incredible. This park is incredible, Josh. When I say it's incredible, it's owned and run by one guy, and he's made it famous because he's a very big US patriot, huge US patriot. Josh, he's got a Statue of Liberty in this park. He's got parts of the World Trade Center, World Trade Towers in
Neat.
this park as well. He's got so many things that are dedicated to the different world wars. Also, like one of the planes that went missing, he's got all these dedicated things. But
Wow.
it's a beautiful and so well maintained park. Like I've never seen a park so well maintained. There is audio, so the speakers playing, and
Uh-huh.
all patriotic songs the whole time. Like what's the one we sing? You sang to me all the time. What's that one?
You're a grand old flag. You're a
Yep,
high flying
yep,
flag, and
that one.
forever in peace may you wave. Okay, sorry.
And then that God bless the USA. That
Oh
one as
yeah,
well.
because I'm proud to
To
be an
be an
American.
American. That's the one. Yep, that was playing, and they play so loud on these speakers. But you just get the feeling once you're there. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So yeah,
I got a
Patriots
question.
and Heroes Park. Yes,
Is it a public park, or does he just like, is it private? Like he owns this land and he made this because he owns it.
he owns the land. He owns the park, but it is open for all. There's no gates. There's no prices. There's no tickets. There's nothing at all. It's like a normal,
Hmm.
normal outdoor park location where you can go. It has been. It has been. What do you call it? Not destroyed, but
Vandalized.
vandalized. It has been vandalized a couple of times,
Uh-huh.
but the town is again. They're so proud of it itself
Yeah.
that the vandals, boom, soon get brought to justice.
What's
So.
around it? Is it city or is it out a little bit
No, it's
outside? Or
outside, it's outskirts area. So
oh,
what's around it is actually hotels. So there's like the
oh wow.
Hampton Inn, there's Marriott, there's different hotels around it as well. And it's also, I'm looking at the list now. It opened in 2010. It features a miniature Golden Gate Bridge that's chopped in half, a Statue of Liberty, an Empire State Building, and Niagara Falls, as well as a replica of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, with the statue of the Archangel Michael as well, a tribute to the Battle of the Bulge.
Wow.
And complete with a realistic Nazi tank is there, Josh. Like, it's incredible. Memorial to the victims of the Flight 3407. That's what I was talking about. And a reproduction of the flag raising on the ruins of the World Trade Center.
That's really cool.
It is so cool.
Bummed I missed that. I'll have to go back.
Yeah, you really do. And it's Nancy's virtual. So what I did was when I got there, and I looked. I was in awe struck. Like my wife waited in the car. She goes, "Oh yeah, you go and do that virtual. Like, hurry up." I'm like, I can't hurry this up. I did some video on it and did a TikTok as well.
Cool.
On it as well. So that's pretty cool. But yeah,
is it already posted? Did you already post it?
Yeah, yeah, you liked it, but maybe you just like click next.
I was just like, it's Seemyshell. I'll like it and I'll watch it.
I like
later.
it. That's right, maybe. So yeah, I logged that, and that's when Nancy reached out to me. She's like, "Oh, you're in town," and then all of a sudden, she's giving me places to eat and places to do. So like a candy store as well. So that was really cool. But going back on food, I've got to say, Josh, I'm not sure if you tried this at all. Beef on weck. That's how I don't know if that's pronounced right. Beef on weck.
That sounds right. Beef on weck.
WECK.
What is it?
So I went to Bar Bill Tavern, right? And this beef on weck, it had a big thing, only in Buffalo. So of course you have to get it if you're only there. It is beef, like the roast beef itself, like you get at Roy Rogers. Roast beef, and it's on a weck. It's like a sandwich itself. It's only found in the Western New York State area in Buffalo. It's what they call I'm going to really ruin this. It's a Kummel weck roll. That's why it's beef on weck. So Kummel weck roll. The roll itself is topped with kosher salt and caraway seeds. The meat is sandwiched and traditionally served very rare, thinly sliced as well. And on top of the bun, you grab it all in one go and then start to dip it in this jus and horseradish spread.
Ooh.
And then take a bite, and then dip.
Sounds very juicy.
Oh, it is.
Did you have one?
Good. Yeah, I had.
It was very juicy. How is it? How did it compare to it sounds kind of like a Reuben.
So So the roll itself is quite firm on the top and the bottom. So but the salt is like
salty.
Yeah, of course. But it's like a pretzel salt, when you get the New York pretzels. So and that's on top. But what you do is I cut mine in half first. And I picked it up and I dipped the corner in this jus. And the jus is like a very runny gravy type style. And then once the salt gets into that, and then it melts down, like, well, not melts, but you know what I mean? It thins out the actual bread. And so it makes it all quite soft and delectable in your palate.
Wow.
So yeah.
It sounds juicy, salty, and I would like to try it.
Beef on weck. There you go.
Beef on weck.
And then lastly, Josh, you know how I experience all my first things with you. I do a lot of first things with you.
I was really, when I saw this on your social media, I was really upset because I was like, wait, I want to introduce Craig to this place.
So if those of you who don't know, I actually had my very first Cracker Barrel experience in Buffalo as well.
Wow.
Yeah, my first ever Cracker Barrel.
I like Cracker Barrel. Did you like it?
I did. I liked it. But then again, I think I'm spoiled a little bit in New Jersey because of our diners here.
Yeah. Yes.
New Jersey being the diner capital of the world.
Yes.
And which rightly so as well. So I think I'm a little bit spoiled for that. But I walked into I'm in a gift shop. I can smell food. I can smell the food, but where's it coming from? Because I'm in a gift shop. And they were selling so many different things. Like, it's incredible.
The gift shop is insane.
It really
is crazy.
It really is. I don't know. Actually, I should have done some research. What come first, Josh? Cracker Barrel or Buc-ee's? Because it kind of like...
I think Cracker Barrel. At least I've heard of Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
Before Buc-ee's.
I dare say. And I've seen a lot of Cracker Barrel, not commercials, but Cracker Barrel things on TikTok and other social media, whereby people take like old school photographs of themselves and then go and try and hang it in their in Cracker
Yes.
Barrel and see how long it lasts for. And some of them last like forever.
Oh yeah, I love those videos. We should try that.
Yeah.
We should try to see if we can get like an old-timey photo of us
One of it,
and
like at the pizza
yeah.
trail or the
Yeah, something and somehow hide in like treasures of our town somewhere on the picture. Wouldn't
yeah,
that'd be so funny? And
that would be
the
cool.
problem is that the workers are probably really on the outlook for it now because it's such a trend. I mean,
It is
how
a
annoying would
trend.
it be if you're working and you're like, oh, somebody's messing with our wall again?
Well, there's this going slightly off topic. There is a guy in Australia, a young guy in Australia, and he made his own photo, like your what do you call them here? Your outdoor adventure sort of. Well, that, we went to that uh, big pyramid sort of place.
Oh yeah,
What's that called? Bass fishing or something? What's it called?
yeah.
Bass store? Bass Pro
Bass
stores.
Pro
Yeah, so we've got
Center World. I don't know.
one similar like that in Australia itself, and yeah, this guy he got dressed up in some of their clothes, took a
Mhm.
photo of himself like in action, got it printed out, and actually put it up on a billboard over the top of the existing billboard one, so he became the star. The CEO found out about it and then hired him to create more of them, and now he's like the brand ambassador for the whole thing. So we could
Oh
be
my
brand
gosh.
ambassadors for Cracker Barrel, Josh.
Yeah, or Miller High Life. Miller High Life, if you're
Oh
listening. I'm so jealous. Did you see that? There's like social media people that are getting
mhm.
like gift boxes from Miller High Life,
No,
and they have like less followers than us.
what the? We've got to reach out to Miller High
We
Life.
Miller, come on.
Yeah, give
We
us the
live the
high
high
life.
life all the time.
All
All
right, Josh, moving on.
right.
Buffalo's done.
We're done. We got to go north.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like 30 minutes, right? It's not too bad. How
No,
long was it? 30
yeah, yeah.
minutes?
20 minutes for me, but that's not too bad at all.
Now we gotta say, treasures of our town. We all, we bill this as like little unknown places
Oh,
that
this is
nobody's
well
ever
known.
heard of before. Well, we don't really say that, but we are going to, I would say, a natural wonder of the world,
Yeah.
and that
Yep.
is Niagara Falls.
Oh.
Don't go chasing waterfalls, like a blue, blue, blue.
This is
Yep.
what I put up with. Look at what I put. Look at what
You
Tammy
love it.
puts up with.
You
Look,
love it.
You say that to Tammy too. So Niagara Falls, Josh. For those of people who don't know Niagara Falls, what can we say about Niagara
How
Falls?
do you not know about
I
Niagara
know.
Falls?
I know.
But give some fun, quick facts.
Okay, some fun, quick facts about Niagara Falls. It's approximately 600,000 gallons of water travel down Niagara Falls each second. Now, Josh, make sure
Wow.
people, if you're a geocacher, some of these may answer some of the Earth cache questions, just saying. The average depth of the water below the actual Niagara Falls is 170 feet. So
What?
it's as deep as the gorge is high. So what you see of the falls is how deep it is underneath almost.
Oh
That's
my.
amazing.
Wait. So
Mm.
it's that deep under the water?
Under the water, yeah.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
Niagara Falls is actually the collective name of three waterfalls, which is the Horseshoe Falls, the Bridal Veil Falls, and American Falls. Fish actually travel over Niagara Falls, and 90% of them survive, unlike humans.
That's kind of like that's more die than I would have thought. Like 10% of all fish die. They don't make it?
They don't make it if they fall over the falls. It's a hard fall, Josh. I mean, they're not going to drown. They're going to get done by, because some of the falls do fall on rocks as well. You've got to remember that too. There's still rocks at the bottom of some areas.
Do you know, speaking of
Mhm.
going over the falls,
Mm-hmm.
do you know that 27 human beings have gone over the falls?
Yes.
And not all of them died.
No, there was a young boy. And again, this is one of the, I think this might have been one of the adventure labs that's there as well, because there's adventure labs, there's virtuals, earth caches, it's heavily populated with munzee and with geocaches as well.
I'm looking right now at the Wikipedia. About
Mhm.
50% of the people, there's like 27 people that have gone over.
Yeah,
Half of them died.
yeah.
So the fish are doing better
Than the
than the
people, of
humans.
course. I think any animal on Earth is doing better than the humans, to be honest with you. But anyway, the water itself flows over Niagara Falls, comes from 4 of the 5 Great Lakes. Did you know that? Yeah, so it's Erie, Huron, I'm saying it wrong probably, Michigan,
right.
and Superior. So those are the 4 from which the water comes from. So it's
Wow.
amazing. It
So
is awestruck.
it's an amazing site.
Hmm.
It's an amazing, beautiful thing. It's
Hmm.
not. Here's my travel flex.
Hmm.
It's not the most beautiful waterfall I've ever seen.
You've been to Brazil.
Yeah,
There you go.
Iguazu in Brazil was a little bit more amazing, but
This
um,
is commercially, this is
yeah,
amazing.
it's really interesting. Can we talk about the difference between so there's the American side
Hmm.
and there's the Canadian side. Can we talk about the differences? And it's actually, if you think about it, like
Yeah.
it's a little bit surprising.
It's, well, yes and no, but
A
yeah,
little bit, yes and no.
yeah,
So the American side, you can see most of it. Well, let's just say you can't see unless you have something helping you, like a
yeah.
boat or
That's
a
right.
platform.
Hmm.
The American side, you can't see the Niagara Falls as well. First of all,
No, not in all their glory. No.
no, but it is a much more pleasant, I think, experience on the American side because essentially it's like a national park.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
it's called Goat Island.
Yep.
It's a grassy area with trails. There's a little, there's like an ice cream shop
Hmm.
and stuff, but it's not particularly commercial
No.
on the American side. And gosh, I have a lot of respect for my country for protecting that space and not making it what the
Yeah.
other side looks like.
Well, I think because the other side itself, the falls don't come from the other side. See, the falls come from the American side predominantly.
Mhm.
And so the best viewing platform is on the Canadian side, but best viewing space location is on the Canadian side. And so they've really made the most of that. I mean, they
Yes.
have put a big like boardwalk, concrete path boardwalk there. It doesn't cost you any money to walk along the boardwalk and stuff.
Mm-mm.
It's all free. There's no entry fee or charges. But I will say this, Josh, that and here's a hot tip. You want a hot tip? If you're going to go and
Yes.
visit the
I
Niagara
want a
Falls,
hot tip
you want a hot tip,
or a wet tip.
a wet tip. Well, no, you want hot. Jeez, start early. I'm going to leave
Yeah.
that alone. Start early. So I got there. At 7 a.m. 7 a.m. on Goat Island.
Yeah.
Parking is free
Yes.
until 8 a.m. See, so
Yes.
we got 1 hour of parking and walking around Goat Island, got all the adventure labs, got some video, got some munzee, got all that
Mhm.
sort of stuff. Looked at all the falls from the top of the
Yeah.
falls, from the falls side. After that, we jumped back in the car and went and parked near the Maid of the Mist, which is the name of the boat that
Yes.
you see on all the movies and everything else as well. There's two boats, one on the American side and one on the
Yeah.
Canadian side. We did the American side. $10 parking for a whole day. If
Yeah.
you get there at 8 o'clock, then you get most of your $10. You see,
And that's a big deal because guess
Mm,
what? I tried to
what's that?
find parking on the Canadian side. Completely different story.
Yeah, impossible,
But I
impossible.
showed up on the American side at 4 p.m. Had no problems getting
Hmm.
parking on
Yeah,
Goat Island,
yep,
and it wasn't that expensive.
yeah.
It was
No,
like 10,
no,
$10 compared to the Canadian side. Oh
yeah.
gosh, we'll get there. We'll get there. Are we gonna
Well,
we're gonna hate on Canada on this episode?
No, because I've got a rebuttal, so that's okay.
Okay.
I've got it ready to go. So we went straight away though, Josh. We went straight on the Maid of the Mist. Like we were one of the
Mhm.
first tours of the Maid of the Mist. I think they
Mhm.
go around every 15
Yeah.
minutes, a half hour or something. But this is where I rebut a little bit. So there's the American one, which is the Maid of the Mist. I
Mhm.
can't remember the Canadian one, but the Maid of the Mist is green in color, and we wear like the blue,
Yeah.
blue overall things.
Yeah. I was on the Canadian one. We wore red.
You wore red. That's right. Now you can see the difference when you go on the other side. But the Maid of the Mist has a big. Oh, sorry. The Canadian one has an American flag and a Canadian flag flying side by side because they were along the border, right?
Yeah.
The American side, just the American flag.
Of course. Because we're proud to be
There
an
we go.
American, where at least we fly our flag. Okay.
But we were there so early. I think it was like $28.25 for an adult, and it's so worth it. It is so worth it. We got there
Yes.
early. We had like maybe 20 or 30 people on the top deck.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you now, later on when we were on the Canadian side, walking along the Canadian side, that top deck was full, chock-a-block.
Yep.
We could walk around where we want. I could do videos. I could do photos by myself. Like it was early. Get there early, guys.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, get there early.
Yeah. You can't miss going on one of the boats, Canadian
No,
side or American. Like you can't.
no,
And I wouldn't even bother. You don't need to make a reservation. Like
no, no.
these boats leave like on the half hour.
On the half
So
hour.
there's
Yep.
generally always some space available.
You can't make a reservation. There's no place to make a reservation. So you can either buy the tickets there. You can pre-purchase your tickets.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
what I meant.
literally
Pre-purchase. I didn't even
pre-purchase.
need to do that.
Yeah, and then just line up.
Yep,
That's all you have to do, and then
exactly.
just line up. That's all. And there were lines later on in the day. There were lines waiting for the next one. Like it's like you're at a theme park with the lining up. So yeah, that's the next thing as well. So we did that, and then unlike you, we walked across the border.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How long did it take to get through?
5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Wow, that's quick.
Max. That was
That's
it. Well,
quick.
we were early again. We were early.
Go early.
Go early. That's
Yep.
I can't stress
Smart.
that enough. Can't stress that because you get people there coming in 10 a.m. in the morning, and already it's busy.
Yeah.
Walk across the border. It's free to walk across the border as well into Canada. It's not free to come back, Josh.
What do you mean it's not free to come back?
To walk across, you have to pay a toll.
What?
American toll, to come across.
A walking toll?
$1 walking toll. $1, and it's got to be
bad.
and it's got to be paid. It's got to be paid in quarters.
Oh gosh.
Through these machines.
Like American quarters, they won't accept Canadian quarters?
No, American quarters. And if you don't have change, they've got change machines there. We didn't have change, so we had $5 note. And
now,
so
wait a minute. I think the Canadians might be capitalizing on this.
Why is that?
Like, are there like on the Canadian side, are there machines where you put $5 in and you get 4 quarters out?
No, you put $5 in and you get $5 worth of quarters.
Okay.
So you spend 4 quarters, and then you've got the rest of the quarters there in weighing you down. So yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's $1 to come back.
So tell me, what was your experience? Generally, I've found crossing into Canada, it's a pretty pleasant experience. They're glad to have you there.
Yeah,
and then coming back home, even if you're American, it's not always as pleasant. I'm just saying this is my own personal experience, but I'm really curious about the walk. This, if I'm Border Patrol, like I think the walking Border Patrol, I imagine that job is less stressful. You're dealing with just tourists.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Pretty much. However, I've been to Canada now 3-4 times now. This is my fourth time in, and I've not struggled, but I got grilled a little bit more walking across this time than I ever have before.
To go into Canada.
So he was like, "What are your plans?" We're like, "We're sightseeing. We're gonna see the other side of the falls."
Have you seen the waterfall over there?
That's right. See that there? We want to see it from this side. That's what it is. And he said, "Where are you from?" I said, "New Jersey." He looked at me. He goes, "You're from New Jersey?
You're a liar."
And so he already got my green card anyway, so he knew that. And I said, "Yeah, we're here to sightsee." And he goes, "How long are you here for?" I go, "A couple of hours to sightsee. Like we're walking over. We don't have anything on us or whatever." He didn't look in our bags or anything at all. And then he said, how did you get from Jersey? Did you drive? We go, "Well, no, we flew into Buffalo, and then we're staying. Where are you staying in Buffalo?" We had to give him the hotel name. I was like, "Really, guy? Like, dude, like seriously, I'm walking across the border here."
Did you have to use the Canadian, they have a Canadian Ready Pass thing where you fill out stuff in advance?
Not required now. That was a COVID thing, I do believe. So,
they don't do that anymore?
No, not required.
They did it last year. I did it.
Yeah, not required.
Barely looked at it.
I think predominantly what they're looking for in Canada when you cross the border now is obviously they're high security when it comes to like felonies and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know of I won't say he's a friend of a friend, but someone who got denied because they had a DUI like 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but anyway,
so
that's the reason why. So
now we're on the Canadian side.
Now on the Canadian side.
So I'll interject here. I drove.
I was gonna say you drove across, didn't you? How was
I drove across. There was a reason for that because my Airbnb was on that side.
And so you were staying in Canada for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I stayed in Canada for one day, but then I moved on to Haldimand County, which we'll talk about maybe at the very end here. And so I went to my Airbnb, and I made a mistake thinking that I was going to be able to find parking on the Canadian side.
Because I didn't see much parking.
It's pretty much like it feels like Las Vegas over there. Like it's
Yeah.
just
Yep.
American side, it's a park.
Mm.
Canadian side, dun, 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 dun. It's like it's Entertainmentville. Like there's all kinds of zip lining and
Yes.
it's very touristy.
Yeah, it is.
And there was just no parking, but you have it in your notes. I mean, it is beautiful from the Canadian side. You get a clear view of the Horseshoe Falls, which is like the main, spectacle of Niagara
Yeah.
Falls. It's just absolutely beautiful. But
It really is.
so I had to park so far away, and I walked a really far to get to the action. And if I had it over again, I might just stayed at my hotel and took an Uber in. And it was literally a mile.
Yeah.
It was a mile from my Airbnb to the Horseshoe Falls, and it was no parking for like
Uber would have been easier.
Yeah. So
well, what I'll say as well is on the Canadian side, you were saying before how it is a little bit sort of touristy, but you need to do this as well. The Skylon Tower. Did you do the Skylon Tower, Josh?
I didn't. Oh, the Skyline Tower. Is that
Skylon
where the
Tower? Yeah.
Skylon.
Skylon. So Skylon. Skylon Tower.
I mean, I did see people doing zip lines over the water.
Yeah,
which looked crazy.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
That was cool, but
yeah,
it was a little expensive.
No, the Skylon Tower is that big tower that's very cylindrical in shape, and then it's got the revolving restaurant on top of it as well.
Oh.
And what brought my eye to it was the actual elevators that go up on the outside. There's 3 of them. They go on the outside of the actual shaft, as they say.
That's cool.
So yeah, so you can actually, when you're in the elevator, as you're going up, you can see yourself going up, and you watch the falls. So there is a revolving restaurant up the top there as well. We didn't see that. We just went to the it's an outdoor area where you can viewing area platform. There's no time limit on it as well. It cost was quite relatively cheap. I think it was like $20 each or something. It wasn't too bad. But yeah, we got up there, and then the view, Josh, from up there is like, and I've got put photos on my social media. People said to me, "Did you hire a helicopter?" I'm like, no, because you can walk around and literally you're the similar height to what a helicopter is. You can see those falls in all their beauty and glory.
Yeah,
so,
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, so
if you want a free tip, you can actually walk up the. I don't know if you did this, Craig. You know, when I was talking about the zip lines.
Yes,
you could go up the zip line tower, but you don't have to do the zip line, and that was free.
Oh,
and
okay,
for geocachers, there's a virtual up there.
Yeah,
did you do that one?
Yes.
It's like a plaque, well. But but you have to go up the tower.
Yep, we did that one as well.
Did you feel like you were like doing something that you shouldn't be doing, because it's like you go up there and that's where everybody's going to zip line, but it's actually open to the public, but it doesn't feel like it's open to the public.
And then you walk back down past the line.
You're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go down. I got a little scared. I didn't want to do it. Bye.
Exactly. Now, we'll move on now to food and beverages.
Yes.
Guess what, Josh?
So I stayed in Niagara Falls, the Canadian side, and now we're in Ontario. You remember, the beginning of this podcast, we talked about the USA.
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking Canada now. We're in Canada.
Yeah. We're in Canada now.
So I went
we're out in a boot.
Out in a boot in Canada, And one of my favorite things at Airbnbs is when they have the folder. You know what I talk about when I mean the folder?
I do. I've seen the folder with you several times. But
folder,
those who don't know what the folder is, tell us what the folder is.
Yeah, the folder. A lot of Airbnb must suggest this to hosts, but they have like all the information you need. Like it's like a local guides. Like you should eat here, and often in there there's suggestions for restaurants and places that maybe are a little bit off the beaten path, but locals know that they're great. So I chose a brew house called Taps Brew House. It was in this beautiful little downtown area. And I think this is true for Niagara Falls on both sides, is like fish and chips is a big deal. Like you're by the sea. Everybody wants fish and chips. So I had a great fish and chips, but Craig, you know how I love my Bloody Marys.
Oh, you do.
Okay. Love them. In Canada,
with a beer chaser,
Bloody Marys are a little bit different.
Really?
They're called Bloody Caesars.
What?
Bloody Caesars.
What,
And the
your
only
head chopped
difference, and
off?
actually they're better, Craig,
Yeah.
because a bloody Caesar, the base of it
Mhm.
is not like a tomato juice, and it's not even like a Bloody Mary mix. It's more of a clamato based. Have you ever had a
Oh,
We've talked about
yes.
this
We
clamato
have.
base.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a thinner tomato juice that's
Yeah.
not quite as spicy.
Yeah.
And so if you ask for a Bloody Mary, typically in Canada, you will get a Bloody Caesar, which is a clamato based, thinner, not as spicy. Maybe
Mhm.
because Canada, they're from north. I don't know, they can't handle it. I don't know. But the Bloody Caesar there with
Mhm.
with some beer, a line of beer chasers. Oh,
Mhm.
primo. And so in the book, Craig, it said the best Bloody Caesars in town, and it just called my
Ah.
name.
You there. Well, guess what?
What?
I went to the same tap brew house when I
You
was there.
did not.
I
You
did,
did?
I did, I did. Because we were there, we got an Uber from where that area, because we went to more of the old school downtown. There's an Adventure Lab series there as well. So
Yeah,
we
yeah,
Ubered up there, and it was like, oh, it's a little bit sort of, not many
yeah.
people around now. It's an old downtown.
It
It's
was
not the
more for the locals. It didn't feel as
yeah,
commercial. It felt like
no,
this is old school Niagara Falls, like
yeah,
Ontario.
yeah. And
Yeah,
so we
that's
walked
crazy.
up
We
the
went
main
to the same
street.
place.
Well, yeah, we walked up the main street, and then my wife, she's like, "Oh, I'm getting a bit hungry," and so am I. I'm thirsty as well. So we looked around, and we just got the app out on our phone, looked around for a brewery or a bar, and it come up, and so we were like, "Oh, there it is, there around the corner." And then when I saw your notes today, the taps through, I'm like, "Oh, that's where we went." So there you go. I had
That's
a nice
funny.
flight as well on my
Yes,
Untapped app. I got a few more on my Untapped app as well. So that's
that's
funny. There
awesome.
you go. There you
Well,
go.
you
That's
know it
cool.
must be good if two separate people went on two separate trips, didn't talk to
Hmm.
each other, and they went
Nope.
to the same place. It must be
Exactly.
good. Taps Brew House. I enjoyed it.
In old school downtown. Now, after that, Josh, you went north, was it?
I went west,
West. Sorry, west.
kind of southwest.
Mm-hmm.
So on my trip there, I love the geo tours. And if you don't know what geo tours are, go back and listen to that episode. But basically, it's a series of geocaches that highlight a certain area,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the pizza tour that we were talking about on the last episode.
Yeah.
Similar. So I decided to visit. It's Haldimand County, Ontario. It's 50 minutes drive from
Mm-hmm.
Niagara Falls to the southwest. It's the county borders Lake Erie, so it's right off of that county's right off the lake there. 20 geocaches, and it felt, Craig, very similar. Got the the topography, the landscapes felt very similar to the pizza tour. It felt
Oh, yeah,
very
yeah.
similar to Seneca County.
Yeah.
Very rural,
Yep. Yep.
small towns
Oh,
with
yeah. Yeah.
small town charm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So 20 caches, not too bad. You get the full geo coin, and but there was a huge problem. Huge.
What? What
The
did you do?
internet went down for like when I was there, for pretty
Yeah.
much the whole country of Canada. The
Really?
internet just went down for the whole country, which you're like, Josh, big deal. Be prepared. You should just download those caches
Should have had them downloaded
on your
already.
phone, which Craig, I did. That was not the problem. The
Maps.
maps was a problem, but I just I've kind of
Winged it.
figured it out. I just followed the arrow through this whole county. But the biggest problem was that I didn't have any Canadian money. So I
Oh.
would go into restaurants, go into stores, and they're like, "We can't use your card." So
Oh.
this was happening. I couldn't use my card because all their cards, the
Oh, the machines are
credit card
down.
machines were connected to the internet.
Of course, they're all
So
down.
I spent the whole day without food or drink. But that's not true because Nancy, Deadliest
Mm,
Cashers,
yeah.
she packed me snacks.
No.
She packed me snacks.
Get out of town.
When that earlier the day when I was at Eternal Fame, she gave me a care bag full of snacks.
Wow.
Nancy saved me.
Yep.
I
Yep.
almost didn't make it through Haldimand County.
That was a good video too, Josh, that one.
Yeah,
That
you
Geo tour,
edited it.
yeah.
Of course, it was good. You
Well,
edited
that's why I
that
say it was
video.
good, but anyway.
And so Haldimand County, kind of a
Mhm.
rural, small town area, but
Mhm.
some really neat things. The Grand River goes through it, like through the county, and dumps into Lake Erie.
Yeah.
So kayaking, canoeing, it's a big
Mhm.
deal here. So get this, not only was there a geo tour, but if you're not into geocaching, there was a paddle art tour.
That people can just paddle and
No. So what it was you go to this location, and a lot of
Mm.
these, geocaching brought me to a lot of these, but people
Yeah.
there's a paddle there, and people have like art, like it's a
Oh.
painted paddle that
Oh, that makes
represents like
sense.
that area, and it's like public art, but it's
Yeah.
all over. And the challenge, there's 24 of them.
Mhm.
The challenge is to find all the paddles in the county. It was
I
cool.
I remember that video, part of the
Yeah,
video now. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Paddle art too. I'm thinking you need a kayak for it. You need to
yeah. No, no. Um, They one of the most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen was
Really?
on the I'm gonna try to pronounce it correctly.
Mhm.
Cunyanya? Cunyanya?
Kuyena.
Cunyanya. The
Kuyenya.
Cunyanya Grand Vista Trail Bridge.
Was it was it better the sunset than Yuma?
Mm,
Mm.
that was pretty
Remember the Yuma
amazing.
sun? That was
That was
amazing.
pretty amazing. But
We're on
this
top
was
of that
right on the
church. That
water.
was amazing.
Yeah, this was right on the water on
Fair
this
enough.
beautiful bridge that, this trail used to be a railroad bed, and
Mhm.
it was the high, one of the highest points. And
Right.
everybody told me you got to go there for sunset, and I did, and it was gorgeous, gorgeous.
Nice.
Stayed
Water
in a
makes sunsets better.
what's that?
Reflection on water makes sunsets
Oh
better.
yeah,
I just
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
Similar to Seneca County, Craig.
Mhm.
The heart, like the middle, the middle city was like the big city,
Oh,
and
yes,
very
yes.
similar. Like so, Dunville is where I stayed.
Mhm.
If you're going there doing the geo tour, I did it. We did it did the same way as Seneca County. I did it counterclockwise around the county, and then ended
Your
in
habit.
the middle. So I basically did a G, G for geocaching. And I stayed, and I just want to give a shout out to the Reeves Bed and Breakfast.
Mhm.
The county was so kind to uh, offer a complimentary room for 2 nights there.
Oh,
Great
that's
owner
nice.
there. It was a beautiful old house built in the
Yeah.
mid 1800s, and just another. This I just want to bring it up. So it's so close to Niagara Falls. It
Mm.
was just a cool experience. It's a geo tour that can be completed in a day, maybe a day and a half. It took me a
Yeah.
day and a half because I was filming, but
And let's say as
another
well
treasure.
that it's all nice to stay at the hotels and motel. That's all well, but sometimes these Airbnbs, Josh, are just amazing by themselves because
Yeah.
they're old school. They're done up. They're done by individual people as well, not companies or maids and servants. But so yeah, I do like Airbnbs for that reason, provided they have the correct blow dryer for you.
Oh,
Anyway, anyway, we
I
won't go
was.
down that track. We won't go
Can
down
I
that
tell you a
track.
travel story?
Yes,
I
okay.
don't like going negative on this podcast, but I was at a hotel in Milwaukee last week.
Mhm.
And first of all, it was the worst sleep of my life. Because get this,
Really?
Craig, I was in Milwaukee,
Yeah.
and there was no shade. There was no shade for the window. Like usually there's a
Oh,
blackout shade, right?
there's yeah,
There was no shade.
like a
And you might
curtain.
think, big deal. No, big
No.
deal, because the window was facing a parking garage filled with fluorescent lights.
Oh.
It was so bad. I tossed and turned, and then I woke up in the morning, Craig, getting my hair ready as I do. And what wasn't there? What was missing, Craig, in
No blow
a
that
hotel room?
no blow dry.
No blow dryer. So guess what I had to do? I got up,
Mm.
got dressed without my hair being done, by the way. Went down and I said, "Hey,
No.
I don't have a blow dryer. Could you get me a blow dryer, please?" The
Mm.
guy disappears for like 10 minutes.
What?
Comes back. I can't find a blow dryer. I'm like, "What?"
What? In a hotel, I can't find a blow
Oh,
dryer.
can't find and like I know the hotel isn't filled. I'm like, "Go to another room and get that one."
If people don't know listening, yeah, Josh does blow dry his hair pretty much every single day. It doesn't look this good like I see right now, like just by itself. So yeah, he does blow dry his hair.
Craig,
Yes.
I I I complained. I wrote an email to
Mm,
corporate because this was
yeah,
a chain. I
that's
won't
fair
tell you
enough.
the chain, but
That's
it
fair
was
enough.
really bad.
Yeah.
And we travel a lot, so I
Yeah.
experience a lot of accommodations, and it has to be bad for me to
To
complain. But come
yeah.
on, people.
I know. I
You
know.
gotta have a blow dryer.
But you know what's not bad, Josh?
What's
How's
not
this for a little
bad?
segue? Is our Spotify list. We have a Spotify playlist, remember?
Yes.
That's all done now.
I
So
love it.
what we've done, those who are not Patreons, you have missed out slightly, and that is we re-released it to the Patreons first and foremost over the last few days, and we gave them a quiz, Josh. So I sent them a little quiz monkey quiz, or survey monkey quiz, sorry, and they filled that out and tried to link up what songs related to what episodes,
That's so funny.
and we have a winner.
We do.
We have a winner. Yeah. And the winner gets a choice of like a $30 gift voucher itself, or another year's membership of a geocaching,
Neat.
or munzee, whatever they like. So yeah, and I'm going to reach out to this person as well. This person's name, are you ready for it?
Uh-huh.
It's also Nancy, but not the same Nancy.
Oh, okay.
It's Tivia28. Nancy Tivia28. She has won. She got I think 65 or 68% correct. So not all of them correct, but yeah.
That's pretty tough. It's a tough quiz.
It is a tough quiz. It is a tough quiz. And from when this episode gets released, which is tomorrow, I'll put that all on our social medias as well the day after. So the Spotify list will be on our social medias for everyone. No prizes anymore, just a Spotify playlist will be there for it. Now,
you can listen to what we listen to.
Exactly right.
On
when
the
we were on
road.
the road, we were on the road. But Josh, if people want to actually join up and be part of this group, this Patreon, what do they have to do?
Oh, we would really appreciate your support. Thank you, Tiva28, for your support. By supporting us, we can create even better content and just keep this going, keep it free to everyone. Craig, have we paid for our microphones yet? Are they paid for?
They are now. Thank you very much. They are now.
Thank you. You're hearing beautiful sound because
Yeah.
of our patrons.
Exactly.
So
and I do believe Nancy Tivia28 is in Canada now as well, because I follow her social media.
Oh, very cool.
She's traveling as we speak in Canada now too. But we've got an extra 2 Patreons we've got to shout out as well. Shorty Knits from the Geocaching podcast.
Wow.
Yes,
She supported us even though we accidentally cut her out of the podcast.
I know, right? I know.
We didn't address that.
No, we didn't.
If you listen to the last episode, we were like, we're going to go to the clip. And then we're like, there was no clip.
We said we're going to go to the clip. And then there was an awkward silence for like five seconds. And then we're like, how good was that, Josh?
Oh, those sandwiches were so good.
Yeah. We really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so we cut her. There was audio of Shorty Knits, and we cut it out. And then she still supported us.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't cut it out. Josh.
Okay.
I lost the audio. I lost it.
I wasn't going to throw you under the bus.
No, you don't have to, because I'll throw myself there. I mean, a big boy. Like, yeah. I lost the audio. It wasn't cut out, nothing on purpose. I literally lost the audio for it. But we have another Patreon as well, and you spoke to these guys.
Yes. So Beth and Luke of Fam of 5W.
Fam of 5W.
I talked to Beth and Luke last weekend. I was at the West Bend Cash Bash, and I sat down with them on a picnic table for about a half hour. And Beth, particularly, just said, I love podcasts, and I just am really enjoying your podcast. It made me feel good because different than videos, we don't get that direct feedback all the time.
No, we don't.
So please reach out to us. We'll tell you how to reach out to us, and if you have a question, thought,
yeah,
I think we'll read it on the show. If it's
absolutely.
good.
And we've had a few people do reach out to us a few times itself. Now, Josh, are we going to quickly say before we wrap it up? Are we going to say the reasons why we had to change up this episode from last?
Oh yeah,
because we were going to have the gamify.
Gamify your travel.
Yeah.
We have a very special guest, and we were unable to lock down that guest for this episode. So that's why you're not listening to Gamify Your Travel, but it's coming. Yeah. Hopefully. I don't want to make any promises, Craig.
Well, no, because we haven't recorded it yet.
Hopefully the next episode will be Gamify Your Travel. But I also want to go back to Patreon as well. If you want to join our Patreon, we would certainly enjoy your support. You're getting all kinds of extra perks. They're all digital perks, and it really helps us to continue making this content and provide value. So you can find tips, tricks, all the things. You can find the treasures of your town or other towns you visit. So consider joining at patreon.com/treasures of our town.
Perfect. So coming up next week or next episode, Josh, we will have, cross fingers, a conversation about gamifying your travel through Adventure Labs, and we'll have a special interview, a German interview. So how can people find us or contact us? So here you go. Now you can say how they contact us.
Please reach out to us so we're not just speaking into the void. And you can reach us at treasuresofourtownpodcast@gmail.com, or you can ask questions, comments on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And this episode is also on YouTube, so follow us there.
So that's it for our show. Please subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting app. And as always, Josh,
may your travels always lead you to the most unexpected and amazing hidden gems and not so hidden gems like Niagara Falls around the world. See you next time.
Bye.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
If you fall off and you'll die.
That's words.